kiss for you.
Hey Live Lake, it's Night Vision. It is about 3 o'clock in the afternoon, Wednesday, June 8th. Got a spa pump from my neighbor. The old impeller and seal on the back end of that was leaking. It was shooting water into the motor, which eventually shorted it out, tripped the breaker. So thought I'd give her a hand, try to save as much money as possible. You can get the you can either buy the wet end separately for about 80 bucks, or you can buy the entire unit together for about $490, or you can just replace the parts that are worn out, in which case I did that. So we'll start with the rubber boot and the ceramic seal. I bought a new impeller because the old one had kind of dry rotted itself onto the shaft and broke. As you can see, there's a difference in size there. I don't know if the camera can see that. My phone's actually sitting in one of the tool drawers, so if it falls, I apologize. So these were worn out. Got these for about $14, and I think this for about $24. So well, go ahead and put the unit back together, and yeah, you're welcome to watch along if you want, and comment that you hate it. I really don't care. Get this back on the past the rotor. Got a 5/16 inch bolt on the back of it. Screws in through the motor housing, past the windings, and you can kind of see how long one of those are. Goes up through the whole thing, bolts in. Get my holes aligned here. Hopefully get my holes aligned here. May have just caused yeah, there we go. Let's get these hand tight for now. This is a motor made by A.O. Smith. 230 volt 2-speed. Let's see, for those playing at home, it is it's an A.O. Smith 0-187 56302, 1725 and 3450 RPM at 4.4 and 12 amps, single phase, 60 hertz, and it's got a waterway wet end on the back end of it. It's a 56 frame, and the grounding lug on the back of the unit. So, now that's on. Go ahead and I put these screws in when I was at the pool store getting the parts so I didn't lose them. I think this has a 2.5 inch intake and 2.5 inch output on the pump. So that just threads onto the shaft, and it's a compression type seal. Take the tag off here. So I bought this from R&S Pool Supply in Maryland Heights, Missouri, off of Highway 270 in Dorset. So get that kind of threaded in there. And we're going to go ahead and try to lock the rotor with a flathead screwdriver. And you got to get the right tongue angle in here. There we go. Alright, it's jammed up against the fan. Just try to catch the next one. Get on there tight as you can. Pull it out. Put this little plastic doohickey thingamabob. This particular one's got a hole on the bottom, it's threaded for whatever. So to make sure my O-ring is greased up, seated properly, otherwise it'll leak out of that, and then you just lose water unnecessarily. So put that on the right way. And get these screws threaded in by hand first. And we'll just get the driver here, make sure we're nice and seated and nothing's coming out. And that's done. It's ready to be installed. That's where we're going to install it. You've got the intake there and the ground wire. It's critical that you have these things properly grounded. So you're dealing with a tremendous amount of voltage and a massive amount of current. This is on a 60 amp breaker, and it probably uses every bit about 45 or so during its heating cycle when the pumps and the blower and everything are running. The pump motor is going to hook up right here, powers off. So I'm a little bit more comfortable sticking my hand in it. It has a heater assembly, or the heater element there. Its water just circulates through there continuously until it gets up to temperature it's supposed to. So I probably won't have anywhere to set this while I put the motor in. Quite a few places this thing can fall in there, and I don't really want to have to go digging for it. My phone, that is. But yeah, we're gonna put this in and wrap things up, and hopefully everything's going to work well. Alright, so installation of the motor into the spa is complete. We've got our intake securely fastened in there. It's nice and snug. Make sure I didn't loosen the fitting going into the heating element, or coming out of the heating element. Got our top discharge hooked up. All the 3 valves are open. Made sure that we've got our ground wire bonded as securely as we possibly could, and put in the 4 bolts on the bottom of the motor, and it's really tight in there, and you just kind of got to do it by feel. So got to have your trusty thumb detecting nut fucker, as ABE would call it. Got the wiring complete. The wiring harness is screwed down with the extra cable length going into the control panel. It's hooked up to the appropriate connector. So all we have left to do at this point is screw the cover back on. So just kind of put this back in. That screw. I didn't realize how hard it was to do things with one hand. Well, you can say what you want about that. I know where your mind's going. I gotta use 2 though. Too big. I'm kidding. Alright, so once that is done, we'll go ahead and clean the inside of it out real quick. Let it fill up. We'll reconnect power, and we'll test this out. Hey guys, I thought I'd ended at the last video. I didn't know how long this was going to take to fill back up. It's been a while since I've been here. Probably only about a half hour, 40 minutes or so. Doesn't hold a lot of water, but just going to go ahead and fill it up, get the pump running, get all the lines cleared out, drain it, go through the process again, and then treat it chemically. Make sure that we don't have any leaks and everything's working right, so it should be good to go. You spend, this kind of money on an appliance that's, sitting out in your backyard. You want to enjoy it. You want to be able to enjoy it every time you get in. So, take care of it. Make sure that you're putting the right amount of chemicals in, do your test strips and or chemical test, however you do it. But, got quite a bit of daylight, so I'll go ahead and tack something onto the end. Sorry this is stretching out so long. Because we're kind of on a slope here, the yard's rather uneven. Can't just stick it on the dirt. Otherwise you'd have no water on one end. So I just bolted together some 4x4s, pressure treated 4x4s, dug out in the dirt a little bit, kind of level it out, and then put about a ton of white rock in there. We just sanded on top of there. So the frame really doesn't have anything to do with actually holding the tub. It just keeps everything in place. buttoned up.